Hey guys, William Murphy here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video on the Ultima GTR. Now this is the first supercar I've had on the channel and I'm absolutely delighted to have it in the garage and to be doing some jobs on the car. Now the owner of this vehicle is a close friend of mine. We've been friends now for a number of years and it's been an absolute pleasure to have the vehicle here and have the opportunity to work on and bring the videos to you guys at home. So if you haven't done so already, please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. It really means a lot to me and it means that things like this can be brought to you guys sat at home watching. So hit that subscribe button down below, help join the community, help grow the channel, and thank you very much in advance. Now onto today's video. The Ultima GTR was in a company called A&M Conversions. Now Antonio's done a fantastic job on this car. He's done some engine work, and some mapping work, and to be honest, the car runs better now than I think it ever has done. It's just an absolute dream. When the car was delivered, which you may have seen in the previous video, had a bit of an issue with the battery, which we've changed, and it's now a week later, and we're still at 12.8 volts, so absolutely fantastic. The battery isn't draining, there's no sort of parasitic drain within the car. Fantastic. But today I'm going to turn my attention back here to the engine bay. Oh. So like most supercars, the most important part of a supercar is the engine. Now this Ultima GTR has been fitted with a 6.6 litre LS3, which quite frankly is mind-boggling, the amount of power that can be produced from this thing. Whilst it is with Antonio, he has removed the complete exhaust system and had it ceramic coated. He's added heat protection to the HT leads. He's enhanced the cooling because the gauges are constantly having issues with overheating and such like. He's revamped the heating ducts and a number of other tasks that he's done inside the engine bay to sort of prolong the life of the car, improve the performance and improve the overall aesthetic look. Now one of the biggest things he has done is the remap, and the remap was to iron out any overheating faults through pre-detonation. But what Antonio did say, which was extremely annoying for him, was the fact that during its time on the rollers, it had a constant squeak. And we couldn't resolve the squeak and instead had to just deal with it. So let's get the car started and see if we can hear this squeak, which you most definitely can. And all being well, we can look to try and rectify it accordingly. Hear the squeak. It's very, very irritating, and as you can imagine, when it's being revved, it gets even more high pitched. So I'm going to knock it off. Whew. Right. Now I'm sure you can hear that. It's a very high, annoying squeak. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the belt. The auxiliary belt on these LS engines, they're pretty easy to get to. Typically when these are fitted Corvettes, they have a air conditioning pump, a water pump, an alternator, your tensioner, an idler pulley and a power steering pump. Now with this configuration now, the power steering pump's been removed and a shorter belt's been fitted, which is absolutely fine. But what it means is that squeak is still apparent, and I think the issue is to do with the tensioner. So I do have a new tensioner. This is a genuine part, a General Motors part, and it's got 2 retaining bolts and a pulley. So it's a serpentine belt. It should be relatively straightforward to get access to, although it's only been running for a minute maybe. That is going to be extremely hot, so I need to make sure I don't touch any of the exhaust system because I don't want that to burn my hands. I've got 2 bolts one on top of the other, I can get a spanner on the adjuster, pull it back to take the slack out of the pulley, remove the belt, release the pressure, undo the 2 bolts, whip this off. With the belt off, I'm going to start the engine back up again with the hope and the intention that that squeaky noise is gone. If it has, that definitely indicates that it's something to do with the pulley system, either the belt or the pulleys. Now the belt has had a anti-squeak oil put on it whilst it's on the rolling road. Didn't make any difference. So I'm suspecting it to be something to do with the fact that, personally, because the power steering pump's been removed, this tensioner isn't actually pulling as tight as maybe it should. Although it's in the middle range of its adjustment, it's still not happy with where it is. There's a couple of solutions for it. A shorter belt, which may cause create a fix. If the belt's too long, the belt could be slipping. Well, actually, I don't know the or. I'm going to try this, and hopefully this is the issue, and the belt, the tensioner just isn't adjusting up tight enough to create this the problem. So, strip it apart, and let's see what happens. The belt off. Let's fire it up again, and obviously I'm not going to leave it running for very long. I just want to make sure that that noise is gone. It's not going to be squeaking. You ready? I think it's safe to say that noise is no longer there. Right, so as you can see, this is where the tensioner is. Got a bolt at the top and a bolt underneath somewhere. With the adjuster on there, I can de-adjust it, I can whip the belt off. As long as I get the orientation of where the belt goes, I'm pretty happy with that. So it's going to go over the tensioner, under the pulley, round to the alternator, back round, over an idler pulley, and then back up here. Ah, just touched my arm on the exhaust. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, so armed with nothing more than a 15mm spanner for the adjustment and a 17mm socket and a ratchet, I managed to get the old one off and the new one on. If you look at the back, there's a bit of corrosion there, and there's a little bit of play side to side of the pulley, but overall it seems to be okay. What I would say though is there's an amount of sort of belt swarf, which could be from the chemical or the spray they've used on the belt. It could be the fact that the belt is slipping. So everything's reassembled, everything's rebuilt. So give my hands a quick wipe, and let's get this car started, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that squeak will be no more. Right, a moment of truth then. Let's give this car a bit of a crank. Fingers crossed the squeak has gone, and if it hasn't gone, back to the drawing board. Feeling pretty confident though. Very slight squeak. I think it's safe to say that the majority of the squeak that was there before has now gone. There is still a slight squeak, but actually that was there when the belt was off, so it didn't completely go, but it has improved with that new tensioner. So I think safe to say a job well done, and hopefully this car me enjoy minus the squeak. Right, well the great news is that I think the squeak is resolved. Only time will tell following a road test. So once it's light outside, I'll get the car out, give it a run, hopefully, fingers crossed, that squeak doesn't return. If it does, it's back to the drawing board and have a look at the belt was relatively new, so maybe the belt is at fault, but I know the belt was replaced previously because the squeak was there. A tensioner was replaced a couple of years ago and also was an idler, and it made things better for around 100 miles and then it seemed to reoccur, that noise. Other than looking at alternator pulleys, water pump pulleys, crank pulleys, there's not really a lot else that's involved within that system, that setup. So hopefully, as I say, that's resolved it. Maybe looking at maybe a future date is to maybe consider changing the belt for maybe a shorter belt. But for now, fingers crossed, that's worked. So I'm going to leave the video here and we'll come back shortly when we're out on a road test.